Two software engineers, both 32, both living in Austin, both making $145,000 a year. James has $340,000 in investments, takes 3-week vacations, never checks his bank account balance. Marcus has $12,000 saved, works weekends, feels broke every single month. Same city, same salary, same job title. One is building wealth on autopilot. The other is trapped in what he calls the 6-figure struggle. The difference isn't a side hustle. It's not a rich parent. It's not even financial literacy. It's something most high earners never see coming. You've been told that making more money solves money problems. Get the promotion, cross 6 figures, then you'll finally feel secure. But here's what nobody mentions. The highest earners often feel the brokest. According to a 2024 survey by Paycheck to Paycheck, 49% of people earning over $100,000 live paycheck to paycheck. Nearly half. They're not dumb. They're not reckless. They're caught in a trap that only activates when your income rises. The more you make, the faster the trap closes. High earners don't feel broke because they don't make enough. They feel broke because every dollar increase in income triggers a $2 increase in lifestyle. It's called the lifestyle inflation multiplier. And it doesn't just eat your raises. It accelerates with every promotion. Your income goes up linearly. Your expenses grow exponentially. The gap between them? That's where financial stress lives.
1. The peer group reset. When you made $50,000, your friends made $45,000 to $60,000. You compared apartments, cars, vacations within that range. Then you got promoted to $120,000. Now your peer group is different. Your coworkers drive Teslas, they live in luxury buildings, they vacation in Tulum, not Tampa. Your brain doesn't say, I'm doing great. It says, I'm falling behind. Example, Marcus moved from a $1,400 a month apartment to a $2,600 a month apartment when he hit 6 figures, not because he needed more space, because everyone at his level lived in that building. That's $14,400 extra per year. His raise was $35,000 after taxes. He spent 41% of it on housing to feel normal. Your peer group determines your baseline, and high earners have expensive peer groups. 2. The subscription creep. At $50,000, you had Netflix and Spotify, maybe $20 a month total. At $120,000, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Disney Plus, YouTube Premium, Spotify Premium, Apple Music for the car, Audible, 3 Patreon subscriptions, NYT, WSJ, meditation app, fitness app, cloud storage, and a meal kit service you forgot to cancel. Each one is only $10, $15 per month. Feels trivial. Add them up, $280 per month. That's $3,360 per year. You're making 6 figures and spending more on subscriptions than some people spend on groceries. The psychology? Each individual subscription feels too small to matter, but they compound into real money you never feel you're spending. 3. The upgrade cycle. You didn't buy a $60,000 car because you're irresponsible. You bought it because at your income level, it felt reasonable. Everyone at work has a nice car. You deserve it after years of hard work. The payment is $850 per month. That's $10,200 per year. Over 6 years, $61,200 total with interest. Meanwhile, James drives a paid-off 2018 Honda Accord he bought used. It's worth $18,000. He invested the $40,000 difference at 8% returns. In 6 years, his decision is worth $63,000. Marcus's decision cost him $61,200. Same timeline, $124,000 wealth gap from one purchase that felt reasonable.
4. The tax blindness. Here's what Marcus didn't calculate. His $35,000 raise wasn't $35,000. After federal tax, 24%, state tax, 5%, and FICA, 7.65%, he took home about $22,500. That's $1,875 per month, not $2,900. But his apartment upgrade cost $1,200 per month. His car payment is $850 per month. That's $2,050. He spent more than his entire after-tax raise on 2 items. Everything else, the nicer gym, the better restaurants, the weekend trips, came from money that should have been savings.
High earners forget that raises get taxed at your marginal rate, which is higher. A $20,000 raise might only be $12,000 in your pocket. 5. The vague future tax. I'll start investing heavily once I hit $150,000. I'll max my 401k after I buy the house. I'll get serious about savings next year. Every high earner says this. Almost none of them do it. Because there's always a next level. $150,000 becomes $180,000, then $200,000. The goalpost moves. Marcus has been saying next year for 4 years. He's still contributing 6% to his 401k to get the match. Nothing more. James automated 25% of his gross income to investments the day he got his first raise. He never saw the money, never missed it. 4 years later, James has $340,000. Marcus has $12,000. The difference isn't income. It's when you made the decision to save. 6. The image tax. High earners pay an invisible tax called looking successful. Nicer clothes for client meetings, $200 dinners to network, a polished apartment for hosting, a luxury gym where deals happen. Each expense feels like an investment. It's not frivolous. It's career development. But add it up. $800 a month on looking the part. That's $9,600 a year. Over a decade, invested at 8%, that's $175,000. Marcus genuinely believes his lifestyle is necessary for his career. He's wrong, but the belief feels true. James looks successful where it matters, his bank account. Marcus looks successful where it doesn't, his Instagram.
7. The comparison trap accelerates. At $50,000, you compared yourself to people making $50,000. At $145,000, you compare yourself to people making $145,000. But you also see people making $250,000, $400,000, $1 million. Your lifestyle doesn't just inflate to match your income. It inflates to match the people slightly above you. Social media makes this worse. You see the highlight reel of people at every level above you. Your brain recalibrates normal based on what you see, not what you make. Marcus follows tech influencers making $500,000. His $145,000 feels inadequate by comparison. So he spends like he makes more to close the perception gap. You can't out-earn a comparison addiction. Why does this happen to smart people? Because lifestyle inflation isn't a math problem. It's an identity problem. When you made $50,000, your identity was scrappy young professional. You took pride in being frugal. It was part of your story. When you make $145,000, that identity shifts. You're now successful professional. And successful professionals don't live in cheap apartments, don't drive old cars, don't worry about $100 dinners. Your spending isn't about need. It's about becoming the person you think you should be at this income level. The trap? Your image of that person is shaped by marketing, social media, and the most visible high earners, who are usually the ones spending the most. You're not keeping up with reality. You're keeping up with a manufactured ideal that even rich people can't sustain. Back to James and Marcus. Same income, different realities. James decided that his lifestyle would stay fixed while his income grew. Every raise went to investments, not upgrades. He still lives well. He just lives like he makes $90,000 while actually making $145,000. The $55,000 gap builds wealth. Marcus let his lifestyle grow with his income, actually faster than his income. He lives like he makes $160,000 on a $145,000 salary. The gap creates stress. One will retire at 45. The other will work until 67 and still feel behind. The difference wasn't talent or luck or financial knowledge. It was one decision, whether to let lifestyle inflate with income. High earners don't feel broke because they don't make enough. They feel broke because they gave themselves permission to spend at the next level before they secured the current one. Income is a tool. Lifestyle is a choice. Most high earners confuse the two. Don't be most high earners.